Alright, so here we're going to go over how to do a build of our game. So this is the last step in the process where you'll kind of export your game and then you'll have it available to upload to a folder in our Google Drive so we can access it in class and share them with each other. Remember, this is how we're going to be presenting them, so everyone should make sure to do this process and get it uploaded for Monday. So to get started, I have my game here. So I press play and I have a game. So now I can, I start on a start screen and I press I for my instructions. I can toggle them on and off, and then I press spacebar to play. So in my scene, I can move around, I can jump, I can collect some collectibles that add to my score. I have an enemy that I can shoot at. The enemy can damage me right here. And if my health gets to 0, my character dies in a dramatic fashion, apparently. And then I'm loaded back to my start screen. I can restart, I can press space again, and this time I can go through successfully or not. I can get through my game. I can get to the end of my level and have a goal. When I run into my goal, the game ends and sends me back to the start. So now I have a complete gameplay loop, so I'm ready to do a build of the game and test it out and see if it works. So to get started with that, it's pretty easy. I'm going to go to File, Build Settings to open my Build Settings window, and we're going to take a look at some things. So first thing I look at is the scenes in build. So these are the two scenes that we've been referencing earlier, and they're the only two scenes I need. So if you have a bunch of extra ones, either deactivate them or, get rid of them, kind of clean up your file a bit. But I have those. My platform is Windows, Mac, and Linux, and then my target platform is Windows. So once those are set, I'm going to go to my player settings down here. It's going to give me some more options. So here we can add stuff like a company name, product name, um, version, keep track of all that. And then here in the icon, you can put a little image that'll be like your desktop icon for your game. Next, I'm going to come down, maybe closed, but I'm going to come down to the resolution and presentation. Open that. I'm going to set the full screen mode to windowed. That way it's a little easier to, leave the game when we're done testing it out. So there we go. Set that to windowed. Then I'm going to come down to supported aspect ratios and change it to 16 by 9. By default, they're probably all checked, so I just unchecked everything but 16 by 9, just because, that's the aspect ratio we built our game at, so that's the aspect ratio we want to support. So here as well, we got a variety of other settings, which, we don't need to get into, but you could get into for like later projects if you needed to. If we look at the splash image, this is where we can kind of set how our game launches. So maybe play around with some of these if you want. Otherwise, pretty much everything's default. So if we come back here, we can now press build and run. So first thing it's going to do is ask us to select a folder where we want it, where we want our build to go. So it's really important that you create your build in a folder you have access to. So I'm going to call this final builds, final build. Select this folder, and so create that somewhere you have access to, because everything that is created in that folder from the build needs to be submitted, because we need all of those extra files in order to be able to run the game on another machine. So let it build, let it do its thing, and once it's done, we'll look at how to make sure your level is properly uploaded to the Google Drive so we can access it in class. So once it's done, we had it to run when it's complete. Now I got my game outside of Unity, And now I can click in it and I can press space to start. And here I go, I got my game. So it's a pretty, pretty quick, exciting process. So there we go. So I'm going to X out of this. I'm going to open my file browser and I'm going to go find my folder that I put my build in. So here I have my final build. I'm going to open that and we can see it created a variety of stuff, a couple folders, a couple files, and you see here, here's your name, your name of your project. So I didn't rename it, but here's your executable. So this is what we press to launch the game. So if I want to upload this to the Google Drive, to our class, we just go ahead over to the Google Drive. We go to our shared, we go to our, I got this open on another monitor, game contact, boom, and here we go. So I just got, here's all your folders, with all your stuff. I'm just going to make mine here for example, but you would make this inside of your own folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it Unity Project _ Ben. And just add your name just so it's easy to find. Again, you'll put these within your own folders. Then if I open that folder, within this folder, we're going to copy everything that was created from the build and drag it in so it uploads. We need everything that it spit out because these are all the different resources that the game needs in order to run. So it'll do its thing, it'll take its sweet time, and it'll upload. So when we're in class, to play our games, we'll just go ahead and if I wanted to play my game at school, I would just be on the school computer and I would right click on my Unity project folder and download the whole thing. It'll download it as a zip file. We'll unzip it directly to the desktop or to the downloads folder and we'll be able to play it from there because we have all the assets that are needed. So that's the build process. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So what I suggest is that when you get your game about to where you want it, do a test build. See how it runs. Does it play through all right? Because we're going to play through them for each other on Monday. So play through it, see if it's all good, and then you can just do a new build or a final build when you're all complete. And once that's done, that's the Unity project. We've gone through the process and made a nice little simple game to, start getting used to Unity. So give that a go and can't wait to see them all.